There is a strange pattern happening around the world. Some people spend years trying to look wealthy, while others quietly build wealth without anyone noticing. One person drives the newest luxury car, upgrades their home every few years, and constantly shows signs of success. From the outside, it looks like they are winning. But behind the scenes, they may be financially fragile. Meanwhile, another person may live in a modest home, avoid unnecessary attention, save consistently, and make decisions that seem almost boring. Yet years later, that person may have something far more valuable: financial freedom. The surprising part is that this mindset is not only about income, it is about the way people think about money. Across different cultures, people develop different relationships with saving, spending, investing, and building security. And in many Chinese households, there are financial principles that have been passed down for generations. Habits focused less on appearing successful and more on creating long-term stability. These habits are rarely discussed in mainstream conversations about wealth. They are not usually the flashy advice you see online. They do not promise overnight riches. Instead, they focus on something much quieter: building wealth slowly, protecting what you have, and making decisions that benefit your future self. But before understanding these habits, there is an important question. Why do some people who earn similar incomes end up with completely different financial outcomes? Imagine two people who start their careers at the same age. Marcus and Daniel both graduate from college, find jobs, and earn similar salaries. Marcus believes that higher income means he can finally enjoy the lifestyle he always wanted. As his salary increases, his spending increases too. A better apartment, a more expensive car, more restaurants, more subscriptions. None of these decisions seem unreasonable individually. That is what makes them dangerous. Each purchase feels small. Each upgrade feels deserved. But over time, his money starts working for his lifestyle instead of working for his future. Daniel takes a different approach. He enjoys life, but he believes every dollar has a purpose. Before increasing his spending, he focuses on building savings, investing, and creating options for the future. 10 years later, both men may have earned almost the same amount of money. But their financial lives look completely different. The difference was not intelligence. It was not luck. It was the daily philosophy they followed when nobody was watching. This is where many people misunderstand wealth. They think wealth is created by making one giant financial decision. But for most people, wealth is created through thousands of small decisions repeated over time. And this is where some traditional Chinese money habits become interesting. Many of these habits are built around a simple idea. Money is not only something you spend. Money is a tool you protect, direct, and grow. One example is the emphasis on delayed gratification. In a world where instant satisfaction has become easier than ever, delaying a purchase can feel almost unnatural. Advertising constantly sends the same message. You deserve this now. Upgrade now. Buy now. Enjoy now. But many financially disciplined households operate from a different belief. A temporary sacrifice today can create permanent freedom tomorrow. This does not mean avoiding enjoyment or living without comfort. The deeper idea is understanding the difference between a desire and a priority. Sarah, a young professional living in California, earns a comfortable salary. For years, whenever she received extra income, she immediately found something new to buy. A bonus became a vacation. A raise became a more expensive lifestyle. A tax refund became a shopping opportunity. She was not irresponsible. She was simply following a pattern that millions of people experience. Money arrives, emotions respond, spending follows. But after learning more about long-term wealth principles, Sarah changed one simple habit. Before spending extra money, she automatically moved a portion into savings and investments. The amount was not dramatic. The behavior was, because she changed the order of her decisions. Instead of earn, spend, save what is left, she created earn, save, spend what remains. This small change represents one of the most powerful ideas behind quiet wealth. The people who build financial security often do not wait until they have more money to become disciplined. They become disciplined first, and that discipline gives their money the opportunity to grow. But delayed gratification is only the beginning. Because one of the most surprising money habits involves something many people misunderstand: the willingness to appear less wealthy than you actually are. And this habit reveals a deeper truth about money. The person who looks rich and the person who is rich are often not the same person. One of the biggest misunderstandings about wealth is that people assume wealth should be visible. They expect wealthy people to drive expensive cars, wear expensive clothes, live in impressive houses, and constantly display signs of success. But many people who build lasting wealth follow a completely different philosophy. They understand that money spent trying to impress others is money that cannot be used to create freedom. This leads to one of the most interesting habits found in many traditional Chinese households: living below your means even when you can afford more. The idea sounds simple, but it goes against one of the strongest forces influencing modern financial decisions: social comparison. Humans naturally compare themselves with others. We look at what our neighbors have. We notice what our coworkers buy. We compare our lives to what we see on social media. The problem is that we usually compare our reality with someone else's highlight reel. A person may look successful because they own a luxury vehicle, but that vehicle may also come with years of monthly payments. Another person may appear ordinary because they drive an older car, but behind that decision could be thousands of dollars invested every year. The visible picture tells only part of the story. A powerful example is the difference between looking wealthy and becoming wealthy. Imagine James, a successful business owner. As his income grows, everyone around him expects his lifestyle to grow too. His friends tell him, "You worked hard, you deserve the best." So James upgrades everything: a larger house, a luxury vehicle, more expensive vacations, more expensive restaurants. None of these choices are automatically wrong. Enjoying money is part of the reason people work hard. But James slowly creates a problem. His income increases, but his financial flexibility decreases. Every upgrade creates another commitment. The larger house creates a larger mortgage. The luxury vehicle creates higher payments and maintenance costs. The lifestyle that was supposed to represent success begins controlling his choices. Meanwhile, another person, Michael, reaches a similar income level but makes a different decision. Instead of immediately increasing his lifestyle, he keeps many of his old habits. He saves more. He invests more. He allows his assets to grow before increasing his expenses. Years later, people may wonder why Michael has more financial freedom. The answer is simple. He gave his money time to work. This connects to another important money habit: respecting small amounts of money. In many cultures, including traditional Chinese households, there is a strong emphasis on careful resource management. Not because every small expense will make someone rich, but because the way people handle small decisions reveals how they handle large decisions. Someone who ignores small financial choices often struggles with large financial choices. A person who wastes $10, $20, or $50 repeatedly may eventually create a pattern that becomes expensive. The issue is not the individual purchase. The issue is the mindset behind the purchase. Money discipline is not about being afraid to spend. It is about being intentional. For example, imagine two families receiving the same unexpected $1,000 bonus. Family A immediately spends it because they see it as extra money. They buy new electronics, upgrade their lifestyle, and the money disappears within weeks. Family B sees the money differently. They ask, "How can this money improve our future?" They may use part of it for investing, paying down debt, or strengthening their emergency savings. The difference is not the amount of money they received. The difference is the meaning they gave that money. This reveals a deeper psychological truth. People do not only spend money based on what they have. They spend money based on what they believe money represents. For some people, money represents status. For others, money represents security. For others, money represents freedom. The meaning changes the behavior. This is why two people with the same salary can create completely different futures. Their financial decisions are connected to their beliefs. Another quiet wealth habit is focusing on ownership instead of consumption. Many people spend their entire lives purchasing things that lose value. Cars, luxury items, upgraded technology, short-term experiences. Again, there is nothing wrong with enjoying these things. The problem appears when consumption becomes the main purpose of earning money. Many financially disciplined households focus on acquiring things that can create future value: investments, businesses, skills, assets. They understand a simple principle. A dollar can either become something that disappears today or something that creates opportunities tomorrow. This is why investing is often viewed differently by people with a wealth-building mindset. They do not only ask, "What can this money buy me?" They also ask, "What can this money become?" That question changes everything. Consider Emma, who begins investing $300 every month in her 20s. At first, the results seem insignificant. The account grows slowly. There are no dramatic changes. But over decades, time becomes her greatest advantage. The money she invested earlier has more years to compound. Meanwhile, someone who waits until their 40s may need to contribute much more money to reach a similar outcome. The final habit behind quiet wealth is something that is often overlooked: the commitment to continuously learn. Many people believe wealth is created when someone discovers the right opportunity, the right investment, the right business idea, the right career move. But opportunities only create results when people have the knowledge to recognize them and the discipline to act on them. This is why many financially successful households place a strong value on financial education, not necessarily through complicated formulas or advanced economic theories, but through understanding basic principles: how money works, how investments grow, how businesses create value, how decisions today affect the future. Because money mistakes are often expensive lessons. A person who understands money can avoid problems before they happen. A person who does not understand money may spend years recovering from decisions they never realized were harmful. Imagine Daniel again. Early in his career, Daniel was not the highest paid person among his friends. Some of his friends earned more money. They bought bigger homes. They drove newer cars. They appeared far ahead financially. But Daniel focused on improving his financial knowledge. He learned how investing worked. He learned how taxes affected his income. He learned how to evaluate purchases. He learned how emotions influenced his financial decisions. Years later, his advantage was not that he suddenly became smarter. His advantage was that he spent years making slightly better decisions, and those small improvements compounded. This is one of the hidden secrets behind wealth. Financial success is usually not created by one perfect decision. It is created by avoiding thousands of bad decisions. A person who consistently makes reasonable choices over decades can often outperform someone who searches for quick opportunities. This brings us to another powerful habit: thinking in generations, not just moments. Many traditional wealth-building philosophies focus on the idea that money should create benefits beyond the individual. The purpose is not only, what can I buy today? The question becomes, what foundation can I create for the future? This changes the way people think about spending, saving, and investing. A person with a short-term mindset sees money as a tool for immediate satisfaction. A person with a long-term mindset sees money as a tool for creating options. Options to leave a difficult job. Options to support family. Options to handle unexpected problems. Options to choose a better life. That is the true meaning of wealth. Not just having more things. Having more choices. And this is where many people misunderstand the habits we have explored. These habits are not about copying another culture or completely changing your lifestyle overnight. They're about understanding the principles behind the behavior. Delayed gratification is not about never enjoying life. It is about understanding timing. Living below your means is not about being cheap. It is about protecting freedom. Respecting small amounts of money is not about obsessing over every dollar. It is about building awareness. Investing is not about becoming rich quickly. It is about allowing time and consistency to work together. Learning about money is not about becoming an expert. It is about making better decisions. Because at the deepest level, wealth is not created by money alone. It is created by behavior. Return to Marcus and Daniel. At the beginning of their careers, they looked similar. Same age, similar income, similar opportunities. But their beliefs about money pushed them in different directions. Marcus believed success was something people should see. Daniel believed success was something people should build. Years later, the difference became clear. Marcus had many things that represented wealth. Daniel had something more valuable: control over his life. And that may be the biggest lesson behind quiet wealth. The people who build financial freedom are often not the people trying hardest to look successful. They are the people who understand that real wealth does not need constant attention. It grows quietly. It compounds quietly. It gives people freedom quietly. The world often celebrates the person who appears wealthy. But financial security is usually created by the person who thinks differently when nobody is watching. Because money is not only a reflection of what we earn, it is a reflection of our habits, our priorities, and the choices we repeat every day. The quiet decisions you make today may not impress anyone. They may not receive attention. They may not create instant results. But years from now, those same decisions can become the foundation of a completely different life. A life with fewer financial worries, more choices, and more freedom. Because the most powerful wealth habit is not learning how to look rich. It is learning how to quietly build something that lasts.